Hello, everybody, and welcome to Getting to Know Your Gmail Inbox. So, this is Tech Summer School Gmail 101. I'm just going to start my slideshow. So, just a little bit before we get started. So, please have the following ready since you'll be at home on your normal computers or on the computers or the phones that you use constantly or daily. Please have the following: your Google account email and the account password. This is important. We won't be able to proceed through the rest of the tutorial if you don't have these or you're not already logged in. So please have the following: your Gmail email password and your account email. And it'll be a little bit easier if you've already signed in, but go ahead and do so if you haven't signed in already. All right, while we're signing in or while you're getting settled, so a little bit on the agenda, we're going to go through the inbox overview. We're going to go through some of the quick menus, composing an email, some of the labels, the settings, adding a signature, creating contacts, and your account recovery. So, what you'll see on screen when you're logging in. So this is what your Gmail usually looks like if you're not already logged in or if you're logging in on, say, a different device or on your computer if you don't have your password saved. So it'll say, hello, whoever you are. So mine says, hi, Emily. It'll give me what my Gmail account is, and then I'll type in my password. So a little bit of the inbox overview. So when you sign in, this is what your inbox is going to look like. Now I changed my background so that it would be a little bit darker so everybody could see it a little bit better. Yours is probably going to look like the standard white background. So again, I just made mine a little bit darker for the tutorial purposes. So Gmail kind of acts as one folder. It has multiple different labels, but it is ultimately one folder. So within that folder, you've got your primary, which is where all of your main information is going to come. So if somebody sends you an email, if you're expecting an email, if you've signed up for something and it's not a social account, it'll come here. Now, a lot of your social interactions are going to be here. So sometimes Facebook, Instagram, if you have an Instagram account, your Twitter accounts will come through here. So all of the notifications for any kind of social media platform or social interaction are going to go right here. And then you're going to get something called promotions, which is going to be right in here. Now, promotions are sometimes things you've subscribed to, like magazines. They give you some promotional information. It's just like ads. So, this is where all of the ads are going to come through. And it sorts these based on what you want to see. So, your primary is going to be the main function of your email and where all of your incoming emails that you're expecting are going to be. Your social is again going to be your social media platforms, any kind of social interaction that you've attached your email to are going to come through here. And then promotions, think of it like advertisements and ads. So Gmail is going to customize ads based on your search histories. And that's where these are all going to go. You don't have to pay attention to the ads, but I would recommend cleaning out that section of your inbox every so often. So again, all you'll do is you'll just delete them. But again, so your inbox for Gmail basically acts as one folder with different labels. Now, all mail is like your email catch all. So while everything is usually sorted into these options here, so this breaks down everything, if you go to your all mail section, which is on this little content menu over here, that's every single email you have, just not sorted. So again, emails one big box, one big email box with 3 different labels. And again, if you want all of your emails you'll go to all mail because that's your catch-all. And again, your all mail folder is not going to sort them like like these labels are sorted. So let's go through some of the menu items you're going to see in your inbox on that little sub menu to the side. Obviously, you've got compose, which is the plus sign here. That's how you'll start an email to someone or emailing to yourself if you're doing that. If you're emailing something to yourself, you'll hit compose. Again, your inbox will tell you how many unread messages you have here. I have 7 currently for this training session. I have 7. This is where your starred content is going to be, snoozed content, sent emails or sent files, your drafts, and again, that all mail section, which is your catch-all. So, starring. When you star something, it means it's an important email. Other emails have something called a flag system. So if the email is important and you need to get back to it, you can star it, and that just puts it in a location for you to return to. Now, Gmail does making something important kind of twice. So you've got something called important. You can flag something as important and it'll stay in your inbox. If you star it as important, it will then go into the starred folder. It's kind of the same function, but 2 different ways of going about it. If you click the important little chevron, which I'll show you, that just leaves it in your inbox with a yellow imprint. If you star it, it then moves it to your starred folder as well. So it'll still appear in your inbox, but will also be in your starred folder. So another kind of cool function that Gmail has is snoozing. So you can snooze different emails. So if you find that you need to get back to someone, but you're still waiting for information, or if you just find that you're getting too many emails from a specific person, a specific company, you can snooze them. So you can snooze them for a day, a month, a week, however long. You can set the duration. And again, it's just if you want to get back to someone. I use the snoozed function mostly if I have information that I need to get to someone in a timely manner, but I don't have all the pieces of the information chain. So if I'm sending an email to a colleague and I'm using a personal email, if I'm at home, if I'm working from home, or if I'm emailing a friend, and let's say I have specific parts of the email body or parts of the email I'm missing, I'll snooze the email and then it'll pop back up for me to return to at a later date when I have all of the information or when I have everything I need to continue composing to then send to that colleague or friend. And again, your sent files. So you're going to see all of your sent mail in here. So anything you send out to someone will be right here in this sent file. And then your drafts. So if you start to compose an email and don't finish it, you can save it as a draft and it'll appear here. And you can access all of your drafts here. Now the drafts will only stay here as long as you're still composing them. So once you finish composing a draft, you'll hit send and it moves from the draft folder to the sent folder. So again, until you finish composing, the email is going to stay right here in your draft. If you finish it, it's going to go right here in your sent file. And again, all mail is kind of like that catch-all. So all of your mail is going to show up right here in this folder, but without the labels as you saw in your main inbox file. So another kind of cool feature that Gmail has, and most email services have, are searching your mail. So you can search your inbox for specific files or specific emails. So if you have an email that has quite a few messages in it and it's hard for you to find things or categorize things, if you're looking for, say your daughter sent you something, say a colleague sent you something to your personal email, or you got an email from a bill, or you were emailed a billing statement and you were like, oh, I really need to get to that. You can search your mailbox to find it, and you can search by sender, you can search by topic or subject, and you can search by name. So if you know the name of the person that sent it, if it's different from the sender, so let's say Pamela from Duke Energy is sending you your next bill, or a notification that your bill is coming due or will be due, you can search for Pamela, you can search for Duke Energy, or you can search for energy bill statement, and that'll pop up. If you still have it, if it's in your trash file, you'll have to search your trash. But if it's still in your inbox, you've just misplaced it. If it's in a sea, if it's buried in a sea of unread files, excuse me, best way to find something is to search. When in doubt, if you can't find something in your inbox right off the bat, go ahead and search for it. So, another kind of cool feature that Gmail has is you can create labels. So you can organize your inbox and you can color code them. So any kind of label that you make will appear right under here. So you'll hit this little plus sign and it'll be create new label. And then it'll give you different categories. So I've created two. And again, for the purposes of this training, I just created a Gmail account. This is like the dummy account I use for training purposes. So I only have two labels. I've got me and Google. So any kind of information I get from Google, whether it's me logging in, it notifying me that I've logged into a different device, I'm going to pop that right here in that Google file. And then also anything that's pertaining to me personally, I'm going to put in this me file folder. Now let's say you want to create a label for billing statements. That's a good way to do it. If you want to create a label for miscellaneous, so like messages you're not really sure what to do with, you can go ahead and do that. It's basically made to customize your inbox a little bit more so that it works better for you. So if you're fine with the three main file folders, you don't have to do this. But if you get a lot of emails and you're trying to figure out how best to categorize them if they're kind of cluttering your primary folder, you can just create a label. And again, it's going to be right here on that menu that we were just looking at. You're going to hit that more caret. So that little up caret is going to give you more options. You're going to go all the way down to create new label. Once you hit create new label, you're going to type in the title of the label and then create. And then you can also color code it by clicking on that little, I guess it's more of a rhombus shape almost, or a little house, like a sideways house. I guess we can go with sideways house. So that little sideways house, you can click on that and then you can color code it based on the colors that they pop up. It'll be a little pop-up window. You just click whatever color tickles your fancy. I went with like a blue-green kind of setting. But again, you can flag anything that you can create a label for anything that you think might help you customize your inbox better. And then you can color code the label to make sure that you pay attention to the label you've created. And it just kind of helps you, again, organize your inbox, sort different emails into different categories. So your settings. You're going to locate your settings in the right-hand corner of your email. And the symbol is going to look like a cog or gear. And usually it's kind of gray, silver, white-ish. Sometimes it's black. Sometimes it's gray with a black outline. Sometimes it's just, kind of translucent with a black outline, but it's going to look like this. And your settings menu is always going to be activated with this cog. So in your settings, you have what's called a display density. So that means your email is going to display however it is defaulted. So whenever you create an account or you have an email and you have your Gmail inbox, it automatically defaults its display density to its default setting, which is basically kind of compact and a little bit small. Now they have another one. They have another setting called comfortable, which makes your font a little bit bigger. It makes your labels a little bit bigger. So it just kind of makes everything a little bit bigger. And then compact. Well, I guess default is more like the standard view as opposed to compact. I said compact earlier. What I meant was default is more of the standard view that you'll see. And a lot of the times you don't have to change it. It's fine. Your comfortable view is going to be a little bit bigger. You're going to get a lot more out of the font with this one. And then compact kind of smushes everything and makes it a little bit smaller. So everything's just a little bit more compact, a little bit more, small to see. All right. So within your settings menu, you have a couple of options. So you've got your general settings, you've got your labels. So once you create a label, you can access the settings for the labels right here. So you can delete labels from that settings menu. You've got your general inbox, you've got accounts and imports, which you probably won't be using. You've got filters and blocked addresses. So anytime you've blocked an address or sent an address to spam, that's where it's going to appear in your settings, is right here in that blocked area. You've got forwarding and pop/IMAP. That's adding different email accounts or different emails to your Gmail. So sometimes you have the option of adding another email so that you can then merge the accounts or see different accounts at the same time. With Gmail, if you have two of the same Gmail accounts, you just switch back and forth between them. But if, say, you wanted Gmail to be your main and you still wanted to access, let's say, a Hotmail account or a Windows Live account, you could do that by clicking on this option here. That's kind of a little bit of an advanced option, so I wouldn't advise kind of trying it out unless you have somebody pretty techie with you to help you walk through it. And then you've got your add-ons. So your add-ons is also kind of a setting that's a little bit on the advanced side. So what you're going to do with your add-ons is you can add pop-up blockers through this extension window. So what you can do is you can click on add-ons and then you can enable a pop-up blocker, which will kind of sometimes help with the ads that you're seeing or the promotions that come through your email. Google and Gmail also has a chat function. So if you know that a family member also uses Gmail, you can instantly chat with them. It's not a feature that I use a whole lot. It's not a feature that I think a whole lot of people will use. I mean, maybe in lieu of the pandemic, there was a little bit more chatting going on online. But I personally don't use the chat function in my Gmail account. I only specifically use my Gmail account for sorting emails. And then you've got some more advanced settings, which is where you'll find your email signature, adding contacts, deleting contacts, that kind of thing. You can also change your status from offline. So anytime you add or anytime you log into your Gmail account, if we go back to this page here, when you see my name down here, this is where that chat feature is. It also tells people that I'm online with that green circle. You can change that setting when you go into your settings menu to be offline. So it'll be a little red circle as opposed to a green circle. So if you don't want anyone to see you online, you can go ahead and do that. The themes. So like I said, I changed the theme and color of my Gmail background to this purple color so you could see the letters better and the different fonts better. But you can go through your settings menu and change your themes that way. Again, it's going to default to that white kind of theme, but if you don't like that, if you want a darker theme, you can go ahead and do that right here in that settings menu. So in the advanced setting, you can add a signature. So signatures close the body of your email with ease. It's not necessary to add a signature, but it's helpful And it also saves you time. So you don't have to type your name over and over again. It's just kind of a time saving shortcut for ending an email. So if you're corresponding with someone, what you can do is you can go to the general tab and you can click on signature, and then it'll say no signature currently. But what you'll do is you'll click on that little dot under no signature. It'll enable the signature, and you can then type, thank you, your first and last name, or best wishes, first and last name, or simply just your first and last name. Whatever suits your fancy. No matter what the end closing is, it just kind of makes it a little bit easier to wrap up your emails, and it's a little less typing on your end. So there are a couple of additional features with Gmail. So you've got additional applications that are available to you through your Google account. And you'll access that by clicking on this little square right here that's full of small little circles. And that'll bring up everything connected to your Google account. So you've got your normal account settings right here with your name or your initial. You've got Google search, you've got Maps, YouTube, your Play Store, Google News, your Gmail, so you can access your Gmail this way as well, your contacts, your Google Drive, which is kind of cloud storage, your Google Calendar. You have access to Google Translate, which helps you translate other languages into English. If you're, looking at a road sign, it's not in English, you can use Google Translate to kind of get a general gist of what the sign says. Your Google Photos. So again, these are kind of going to be your cloud-based photos. And then shopping. So you just have a couple of different things that you can access through your Gmail account by going to that little square with the 3 dots in it. And again, it's just going to give you access to a couple of more applications or additional features. Now, again, if you're just strictly using your inbox as an inbox, you wouldn't need to access any of these. They're just there as shortcuts for you to take. So, adding contacts. If you've never added a contact before, what you'll do is adding a contact. So this will walk you through a couple of ways to add contacts. So you can add contacts from your contacts list, or you can make a list from the contacts that have sent you emails. So what you'll do is from your inbox, you'll select and open the email from the contact you wish to add. So say your daughter has sent you an email, or your son has sent you an email, or your grandson, granddaughter, grandchild, whoever. So what you'll do is you'll select the icon in the upper right-hand corner, which displays 3 vertical dots. They're usually always kind of gray. And then it'll open this sub-menu that you see right here. Now you've got a couple of options here. You can reply to the email if you haven't already done so. You can forward the email if you need to forward it to another family member. You could print the email if you need the email for any kind of reason. Or you can hit add Emily Morgan to contact list, or whomever that person is. You can also delete the message from here. So instead of using the trash can, you can use that little sub menu that pops up. This is another important feature too, is if you're getting a lot of emails from somebody who you don't really recognize, or someone you don't remember signing up, or something you don't remember signing up for, you can report it as spam, or you can report it as phishing. So if it's somebody who's trying to get your personal information, or they've asked you for kind of banking information or anything related to your person that's very personal, like a social security, and they're masquerading as something who you think you might trust but aren't really sure, I would go ahead and mark that as phishing. And then if it's just something that keeps sending you a bunch of emails and you're just like, oh, I signed up for email notifications from Reader's Digest, but I keep getting way too many of them, you can put them in spam. And after you report enough emails to spam, they automatically go to your spam folder to just filter as it just kind of filters it as you go. So the more you report something as spam, the easier or the likelier it is that it's going to end up in that spam folder without you having to touch it. So again, If it's something that's trying to grab information from you that you really don't want to give, and it's masquerading as something you think you might trust but aren't really sure that you really should, mark it as phishing. If it's just an email that you're getting over and over again from something you signed up for and are just kind of done with, go ahead and mark it as spam. But again, when you want to add someone to your contacts, go ahead and click those horizontal dots or those vertical 3 dots, and then you'll hit add whomever to contact list. So, like I said, click first and last name. Note, you can edit the contact's personal information after you add them. So after you click on add, it's going to give you an option. Excuse me. It's going to give you an option to add their email address, which already populates. But if it's, you can correct the email address, you can add a secondary email address, you can add their phone number, you can customize, customize name. So it could be nickname if you don't want to use the name that they're using when they email you, or you can make it a family member, that kind of thing. So you can customize the contact after you've already added them. So you can create a contact from scratch as well. So you can click on the Google Applications menu in the upper right-hand corner. Select on the contact icon. So again, you're going to go to that little square with the 3 dots in it. It usually appears kind of in the upper part of your email, and you're going to go right here to contacts. Note, if you don't have any contacts in your list, it will look like this. So if you have no contacts, it'll say no contacts yet. You just hit create contacts. So click on the create contact icon in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. It's going to look like this as well. So if you have contacts, this is what that option is going to look like. If you don't have any contacts, it's going to look like what was just displayed. Enter your contacts information manually and click save. So you've got first and last name, company they work for if you know that, their job title, their email address, their phone number, and any notes. You can label this, colleague, friend, family, anything you so choose. So I created 4 contacts or added 4 contacts. So I have full name, email address, and phone numbers. So again, that's just what your contacts list is going to look like once it's populated. So now we're getting to the important part of the inbox. So account recovery. It is very important that when you're setting up your account, or that when you are in your account, that you update your privacy settings constantly. So your recovery options will allow you to gain access to your account if you're logging into a foreign computer, such as one at a public library. Your recovery options are a phone number or alternate email address that you have access to, because a lot of us know that Gmail likes to prove who you are when you log in. So if you're logging in from an account computer, or if you're logging into your account from a computer that it doesn't recognize, it's going to ask you to send a text code, or it's going to ask you for that alternate email address, and it's going to give you a code there. It keep your settings up to date. So if you change your phone, change that phone number in your account recovery settings. If your alternate email address becomes inaccessible, go ahead and change that alternate email address to one that you still have access to, or a family member still has access to, and can still gain access if you log in somewhere and you don't have your phone with you. They can use that alternate email to still give you a code. Use your mobile device phone number, because 9 times out of 10, that's the device you have with you. So don't use your house phone for account recovery, because your house phones can't receive text messages. And then use an email that will not go inactive. So use an email that you know you're going to continue to go back to as an alternate, or a family member who you know is going to keep that email up to date. So you can do this through your security setting. So when you click on that square of dots, which you see right up here in that corner, there's going to be an option when you click on your symbol. So you click on your name or your initial, and you're going to go right over here to security. Once you click on security, it'll let you know what kind of settings you have to walk through. So you'll click get started. Now, signing into Google, it'll tell you the password was last changed whenever you last changed your password. It just so happened that I created this account in 2017. I needed to change the password shortly after. So it'll tell you the last time you changed your password. Use your phone to sign in. I would click yes. Right now it is currently off, but again, this is just a training email. And then two-step verifications, automatically I would also put this on yes. So this is going to be Google wants to send you notifications when you log into a new device. So these are just ways that it verifies who you are. Now I've blacked these out because this is personal information. So your recovery phone number is going to go right here in this space. Again, if you change your phone number, always change it here in your recovery options as well. Your recovery email, right here too. Use an alternate email that you're going to still have access to, or somebody in your family has access to. And then your security questions. So whatever security questions it asks you, these are where the answers are going to populate. If you're going to change those at any point, you can do so from here as well by clicking on the arrows right here. But again, I've blocked mine out for safety purposes. So signing out of your account. At home, you wouldn't need to do this. You can leave yourself signed in however long, whenever you like. But if you're logging in on a public computer, or you're logging into a family member's computer, or a device that's not yours and that you don't want someone to have access to, you will click on your initial right up here in that corner, and you'll click sign out. Now, when you sign out of your account, it's going to look like this. So it's going to have your email still populated, but no password. If you're on a public computer, it is important for you to click this option here where it says remove account. And how you get to that is you click on this little arrow next to your email address. It brings up your email. It says that you are signed out, and then you just hit remove account. So removing your account brings up this little minus sign. You'll click on that, and then it'll confirm that you want to remove the account. So you will no longer be able to use the Google service on this browser. Sign in when you're ready to use the account again. This is important. Now, a lot of the time, people won't be able to log into your account because they don't have your unique password. But it's always good practice if you're on a public computer to sign out, remove your account, so nobody accidentally attempts to sign into your account, changes the password, you get a notification, hey, somebody tried to change your password, was this really you? This kind of just solves that accidental kind of mishap. Now, removing your account does not delete it. Removing your account just removes your information from the browser you were currently using. It doesn't delete anything. It doesn't get rid of your account. Your account will still be accessible, just no longer on the computer you were currently sitting at if you're not at home. So then we hit yes, remove, and that's it. So if you have any questions, please check our calendar for more tech courses throughout the season. You can find that at mylakeLibrary.evansd.info/signup/calendar. You can call or email for additional help. That email is librarian@leesburgflorida.gov, and the phone number is 352-728-9790, menu option 3 for reference. Bye! I hope you enjoyed this.